Add and check your schedule, notes, and meetings without ever leaving Excel. Build it once, and it rebuilds itself every time you change a single cell. The result is a one-page monthly calendar that automatically shows which days have notes attached, without you ever editing the calendar grid by hand. Add a new note with a single click of a button. Notes live in one table, and the calendar is entirely formula-driven, so it can never fall out of sync with your notes. Navigating back to the calendar is just as simple. The whole project is built from standard Excel features: dynamic array formulas, a table, a named range, conditional formatting, data validation, and 2 internal hyperlinks. There is no VBA, so the file is safe to email and works fine in Excel for the web. We'll build this project from scratch. We start by building and formatting the calendar using date functions. We then prepare the layout for the notes section. We create the notes table with data validation. We build navigation using functions and defined names. And then we add 2 conditional formatting rules to highlight the calendar days with notes and hide the days from previous and next month. Without further ado, let's build this project in Excel. In a new workbook, I start by renaming the worksheet calendar. I prepare for creating 2 drop lists in cell B2 and F2, and I type in AA1 the first month, January. I click and drag to create a full list of months. In AB1, I type 2020. I hit enter. I press Ctrl and drag to create an incremental list of years down to 2045. I select cell B2, and then on the data tab of the ribbon, I click on data validation. I want to allow a list, and I click in the source box, and I navigate to the list of months, and I select it, and then I hit OK. I repeat in cell F2. I want to create a drop list for the years. I select list, and for the source, I select the list of years that I created, and then I hit OK. And then I can test my drop list by selecting any month. I select cell F2 and I select any year. And now I want to improve the appearance and apply some formatting. In cell B3, I want to create a list of weekdays starting from Monday. Then I type Monday abbreviated. I click and drag to create a full list of weekdays. I'm going to format it with a blue fill color and a white font. And now I want to adjust the width of columns. I create some borders, and now I want to create a title for my notes. I will do that in cell J2. So I type an equal sign, in double quotation, notes for, a space, double quotes, and then the joining operator of Excel Shift 7. I click on cell B2 to select the month, another joining operator, and a space, double quote, space, double quote, and a third joining operator, and I select the year. Now when I hit enter, it reads notes for July 2026. I'll be applying some formatting as well. I can adjust the width of column K. This is where I'll have my notes. Now I prepared for creating my calendar. To create my calendar, I select cell B4 and I create a sequence function. It's a dynamic array function. So I type equal sequence. How many rows do you want? I want 6 rows for the calendar, comma. I want 7 columns. Then I type 7. And what's the starting number for the calendar? That will be the first day of the selected month in the selected year. And I extract it with a date value function. So I type date value. I click on the month. I use the joining operator and I click on the year. And then I close the bracket. The date value function will use the month and year, and it will return the first day of the month, and it will return it at the position where I'm creating my function, which is a Monday, and not necessarily it should be a Monday. It can be any other day. So let's continue. To move the starting date of the month to the correct weekday, then I subtract the weekday function. I type minus weekday. I open bracket, and I want the weekday of the date value plus 5. I type date value, I open bracket, I select July, a joining operator, and I select the year, which is currently 2026, and then I add 5 That will position the first day of July 2026 under the correct weekday. So I type +5 and I close the bracket for my weekday function and I close the bracket for my sequence function. When I hit enter, I get sequential numbers starting from the first day of the month, and I don't want numbers, so I'm going to format this range to show the day only. I select the whole range for the calendar, I hit Ctrl+1, and then I select custom, and I type DD, that will give me the day in digits. I hit OK, and now the first day of July 2026 is a Wednesday. Let's bump up the font to 14 and center it horizontally and vertically, and I finished creating my calendar. If I test, if instead of July, I select August, everything updates accordingly, and that's correct. August 2026 starts on a Saturday, then everything is working fine. My next step is to prepare the layout for the notes section. For whatever month I select in any year, I want a list of the days of that month, and I want it starting from cell J3. I type equal sequence. How many rows do you want? I want the number of rows corresponding to the number of days of August 2026. So I type day, I open bracket, I want the end of month, of the date value, and I click on cell B2, a joining operator, and I click on cell F2. I close the bracket for the date value function, and I type (0), which means the same month. I close the bracket for the end of month, and then I close the bracket for the day function, and that was the first argument of the sequence function. Date value will return the first day of the month, end of month will push it to the last day, and the day function will extract the last day only without the month and year. And in this case, it will be 31. If you want to test, I can click on the rows argument, and I can see here it says 31, then everything is fine. I continue building my sequence function. I type comma. I want one single column, then I skip this argument, and I want to start counting from the first day of the month, which is another date value function. I type date value. I click on B2. The joining operator, I click on F2. I close the bracket for the date value. I type a comma, and here is the last argument of the sequence function, the step. I type 1, and I close the bracket. When I hit enter, I get a full list of the days of August 2026. So let's format it. I select the whole column, Shift Control down arrow. I hit the shortcut Control Shift 3 to format it as a date. I finished preparing for the notes section. My next step is to insert a new worksheet that will accommodate all the notes. Then I click on the plus sign to insert a new sheet. I name it Notes. And in the Notes worksheet, I have just two columns, Date and Note. I will apply some formatting. And then in column A, I want to create a drop list from which I can select a date, whether from the current month in the calendar, or I can type a different date if I wish. So in the name box, I select the range from A2 to A500, and I'll be creating a data validation drop list. I go to the data tab of the ribbon, I click on data validation. I want to allow a list, and for the source, I want to select all the dates from the calendar worksheet in the notes section. So I select the calendar worksheet, and I select the first cell. It's a spilled array range, so I type the number sign denoting that I want the whole range. For the input message, I give it a title, pick or type a date, and the wording of the input message that will guide the user will read, select from a drop-down list the dates of the months selected on the calendar sheet. For any other month, just type the date in the format DD, MM, and 4Ys. To allow typing, I go to the error alert and I take the check away. And now I can hit OK. Now I have a drop list and an input message. I'm going to enter two sample records. I selected a date and I type a corresponding note. I select another date and I type a corresponding note as well. I want to format the range having the data validation drop list, then I select it, Control Shift 3 to format it as date. I just prepared for creating the notes table that will be storing all the notes, but I want to convert it into a table, and before I convert it into a table, I want to create a defined name that finds the first empty cell in the date column. And to do that, I'll be creating an offset function. I will be creating the offset function in a defined name. This defined name will always select the first empty cell in the date column. I go to the Formulas tab of the ribbon, and on the Formulas tab, I click on Define Name. I want to give it a name, Next Note, and that will be an offset function. So I type equal offset. I open bracket. I select cell A1. I want to count how many non-blank cells I have in column A. So I use a count A function. I open bracket and I select column A. I close the bracket for the count A function. And then I type comma 0 because I don't want to move any columns to the right or left. And I hit OK. I have a defined name that I'll use it for creating a navigation. Now I want to convert this small list into a table, so whenever I add new notes, the table expands. I select any single cell in my list. I hit the shortcut Ctrl-T. My table has headers. I hit OK, and I converted it into a table. And I'm going to name this table on the left side of the Table Design tab. Let's name it Notes. I hit Enter. Now let's create the navigation. If at any time I want to go back to the calendar worksheet or come back to the notes table, I want to create a forward and backward navigation. I select cell D1 and I type back to calendar. I will turn this text into a hyperlink. I hit the shortcut Ctrl-K. I want to go to a place in the document. That will be cell B2 in the calendar worksheet. I type B2, I select calendar, and then I hit OK. Now I have the hyperlink. Let's format it, and I can test it. When I click on back to calendar, it takes me back to the calendar worksheet. Now let's create another hyperlink that I'll be using for adding notes at any time, and these notes will land in the notes table. I select from B11 to D11, and I want to merge and center. If I try to create a hyperlink by hitting Ctrl-K, I don't see the defined name that I created because this list points to locations in the worksheet. Then I'm going to use a different technique. I'll be using a hyperlink function. I type equal hyperlink, and then in double quotation, I type the defined name that I created. Next note, that was the name of the defined name, but I have to precede it with a number sign to tell Excel that this is a defined name. I close the double quotation, and for the friendly name, in double quotes, I type add a note. I close the bracket, and then I hit enter. Let's format this cell, and now I can test. Whenever I click on add a note, it takes me to the first empty cell in the notes table where I can keep adding notes. To add a note, I can select a date or I can type a date in the format, and this is the input message that I have. So I'm going to select some dates and add some corresponding notes before I move to the next step, continue building the notes section. Now I have some dates and some corresponding notes. For some of the dates, I have more than one single note, and that will affect the function that will pull these notes to the calendar. I'm back to my calendar, and I want to create in column K a function that pulls the notes for the selected month. And this is a filter function. So I type equal filter, and because I have a table, I want to return the notes from the notes table. Then I type notes. That's the name of the table. I open a square bracket, and I select the note, and I close the square bracket. I then type a comma for the include argument of the filter function. I want to pull the notes based upon a condition in the date column. So I type the name of the table notes. I open a square bracket, I select the date and I close the square bracket, and I say if it is equal to cell J3. When I close the bracket, if I have a note in the 1st of July 2026, then this function will pull it here. But what if I have more than one single note? Then I want to put these notes together in the same cell separated by semicolon, and that's the perfect job of a text join function. So I wrap my filter function in a text join function. What's your delimiter? Double quote, semicolon, space, double quote, and then I type a comma. I skip this argument, so I type another comma, which means true, and then for the text, I have my filter function. I close the bracket for the text join function, which might return an error If we don't have any result for the filter function, that means we don't have notes. Then I'm going to wrap it in an if error function. If the bunch of functions text join and filter return an error, then I want a blank, then I type comma, double quote, and I close the bracket for the if error function. What if I don't have a date in column J? Then I want to return a blank. So I'm going to wrap all this bunch of functions in an if function. If cell J3 equals double quote, comma, then in this case, give me a blank, give me nothing, double quote. Otherwise, I want my if error function. At the very end, I want to close the bracket for the if function. I hit enter, and I would have created my function that pulls the notes from the notes table. Now let's double click and send it down, and I got 4 notes corresponding to July 2026. Let's test by selecting a different year. If I switch to 2025, then I do have some notes. If I select a different month and a different year, now I have different notes and everything is working fine. My next step is to apply 2 conditional formatting rules to the calendar. One rule will hide the dates from the previous or next month, and it will only keep the dates for the selected month. The second rule will highlight the day whenever I have a corresponding note in column K. To create my first conditional formatting rule, I select the range, and then I click on Conditional Formatting, New Rule, use a formula. So I type equal month, I open bracket, and I want the month of cell B4, the first day in my calendar, and I want it as a relative cell reference. If the month of cell B4 does not equal the month of the date value of B2 and F2, I click on B2, I type a joining operator, and I click on F2. These are absolute cell reference. I close the bracket for the date value, I close the bracket for the month, and then I select a format. I click on Format. For the font, I want a light gray color, and for the fill, I want no color, and I hit OK. And here is my first conditional formatting rules. All the dates from the previous and next month are grayed out. And let's test. If I select July, now everything is working fine. My next conditional formatting rule will highlight the days whenever I have a corresponding note in column K. So I select the whole range for the calendar one more time. I click on Conditional Formatting, New Rule, use a formula. And this time my formula will be a COUNTIFs function. So I type equal COUNTIFs, I open bracket, I want column A from the Notes worksheet. Then I click on Notes, and I click on column A to select the entire column. I type a comma, and I want to select cell B4 in the calendar worksheet. I could type it here, so I type B4 and then comma. My second condition, my second criteria range will be column B. Then I select column B in the Notes worksheet. I type a comma, and I want to make sure it's not blank. This is my condition, and this is how I type it. Double quote, greater than, smaller than, and double quote. I close the bracket for the COUNTIFs function, and I say if it's greater than 0. What kind of format would you like to apply? I click on Format, and I want a light blue color, and I hit OK. All the highlighted dates have notes. To turn off the blue fill color on the calendar for the days from previous or next month, I need to modify the second conditional formatting rule. So I click on the down arrow for conditional formatting, Manage Rule, and I select the second conditional formatting rule. I want to edit this rule, and I'm going to add a second condition in an AND operator. Now the blue color appears only for the days corresponding to the selected month, and I finished creating my project. That's the full build, a calendar that updates itself, notes that never fall out of sync, and not a single line of VBA. If you want your team to work at this level across all of Excel and Microsoft 365, that's exactly what I do. I run corporate training sessions built around real workflows like this one, not generic slideshows. If that's useful to your team, reach out and let's book a session. Thanks for watching, and remember, The best has yet to come.